Hi everyone, my name is Igor, and in this video I'm gonna show you step by step how to build an affiliate marketing website, so that you can start making money online. For that purpose I'm gonna use the Wix website builder, because it's a functional and intuitive platform, using which even a complete beginner can create a professional looking website, without having any knowledge in design or coding, and also because this video is sponsored by Wix. Before we start, I'd like to point out a few important things. First of all, this specific tutorial is rather intended for those who already know what affiliate marketing is, how it works and so on, and just looking for a way to create a beautiful affiliate marketing website. In case you're a complete beginner and don't figure out how to get started in affiliate marketing at all, I do recommend checking out my detailed video on this topic first. You can find it on my second channel, on which I talk specifically about affiliate marketing and other ways to make money online. Secondly, in this tutorial I'm not going to explain such things as how to write content for your website, how to do keyword research, and how to do on-page and off-page SEO. These are huge and deep topics that deserve separate detailed tutorials, and I'm going to upload them in the near future, so consider subscribing to my channel in order not to miss them. And finally, if you have any problems recognizing my speech, please feel free to turn on the closed captions. Without further ado, let's dive into it. The very first thing we have to do is to go over to the Wix official website and create an account. You can do that by following the link in the description down below. Once you enter the site, press the Get Started button. There are several ways to sign up, just choose one that suits you more. After the sign up, you will be prompted to take a little survey about the goal of your future website and whether you have any experience in website building or not. The survey may look a bit different depending on a certain account, so let's skip it because I want to be sure we are on the same page. Then we have two ways: let the Wix ADI automatically generate a website for us, or create a website with the Wix editor. In this tutorial we're gonna use the Wix editor, because it gives more room for creativity, and also I want to make you understand how everything works here, so that you will be able to change any elements of your website yourself. In the next step, Wix offers us to pick a template. As you can see, there are a lot of categories among which you can choose from. But since an affiliate marketing website is basically a blog on which you publish your articles, product reviews, comparisons and so on, we are gonna go with the appropriate category. Before choosing a specific template, you can check out how it looks on the demo website. To do so, press the View button and then follow the View Full Demo link. In case the template met your expectations, press the Edit this site button and you will be taken to the Wix editor. The very first thing we want to do once we hit the editor is to upgrade to a premium plan. Don't get me wrong, using Wix you can create websites on a free plan as well, but upgrading allows us to connect a custom domain and remove Wix banner ad, which we obviously want to do before publishing the website. Actually, you can upgrade the plan anytime you want, but it makes sense to do so at the very beginning, because in the second part of this video I'm gonna show you how to publish a website, connect a domain and such other things, so you simply will not be able to repeat some of my actions on a free plan. Anyway, you can upgrade by following the appropriate link at the top bar. But before that, Wix wants us to save the website, so that we will not lose any changes and can access it at any time. After the site has been saved, you can go over to the plan comparison page and choose the one that suits you best. They mostly differ by the amount of free storage space and some other small things. For the purposes of an affiliate marketing website, I think the unlimited plan would be the most beneficial one, but it's up to you. After choosing a plan, you need to decide which billing cycle you prefer. I recommend making your choice at the annual plan, since it's the most profitable option. Once we've upgraded the plan, we are ready to start editing the template, but before doing that, I'd like to explain how to work in the editor. First of all, any page of a website basically consists of three parts: header, content and footer. The header is the very first block on a page, and it stays consistent for the whole website, which means if you change anything inside it, the changes will appear on every page. The header usually contains a logo, navigation menu, social links and so on. After the header goes the content of the page. It's individual for every single page and separated by stripes, which are essentially the content blocks from that the page consists of. Each stripe contains some elements like a text, images, buttons and so on. You can find the full list of all available elements by clicking the plus button on the left panel, but we will take a closer look at them later on this video. As you can see, right now we already have some stripes with default content on the homepage. To get a better understanding about what stripes you currently have on a page, you can go with the zoom out mode by pressing the appropriate button. This mode also allows you to move, duplicate and delete stripes much more conveniently, so I do recommend you to use it while making any drastic page layout changes. After the last stripe of content goes the footer, which, like the header, is constant for the entire site. It usually contains an additional navigation menu, copyright information, links to your profiles and social media, subscription form and so on. Once we figured that out, let me explain how to interact with elements on the page. Wix is barely the only website builder that provides you an ability not only to add and customize new sections or stripes, but also move, stretch or delete literally any element on the page. This approach gives a lot of room for creativity and allows you to create truly unique websites. Also, if you click on an element, you will see a panel on which you can change some things related to its design, layout or content, add an animation or link to it and so on. Although each type of element has its own panel with an individual set of options, most of them are pretty similar and clear, so I'm sure you will not face any problems working with them. Besides, right-clicking on an element brings up a context menu, where you can perform such actions as deleting, duplicating, arranging and so on. Another important topic that I can't help but mention is the website responsiveness. It stands for an ability of the website to automatically adjust the size of its layout in order to properly display on different screen sizes. To keep your site responsive, you should avoid placing single elements like text, images or whatever else outside these grid lines, because such elements might be cut off on smartphones, tablets and smaller screens. As for the stripes, as you can see, they all stretch to the full width of the page, making them responsive by default. So, if you're gonna add a new single element to the page, just make sure it's placed inside an empty stripe or at least within the grid lines, to avoid any problems with its displaying on small screens. Also, there are some types of elements that can be stretched to the full width like stripes. For example, this Instagram feed at the bottom of the page. By switching the appropriate toggle, we can stretch this element and add margins if it's necessary. In case you want to set the custom width of such a stretchable element, I do recommend you to do so by adding margins instead of dragging its edge manually, because it may lead to inappropriate displaying on small screens. Once we figured out what responsiveness is, let's take a look at the mobile version of the website. You can switch between the mobile and desktop versions by pressing the appropriate icons on the top bar. As you can see, after we switched to the mobile version, all the stripes were automatically adjusted to a smaller screen size, because they are responsive. Another important thing you have to consider while editing the site is changes that you make on the desktop version will be displayed on the mobile version as well, but not vice versa. For example, if I move this button a little higher and switch back to the desktop version, I won't see any changes. And the last thing I'd like to mention before we go over to editing the homepage is how to save your work. Although auto-saving in the Wix editor is enabled by default, I do recommend you to save changes manually from time to time anyway. You can do so by clicking the appropriate button in the top right. Besides, next to the save button you can find the undo and redo buttons. Feel free to use them while editing the site. Alright, since we figured out how to properly work in the editor, let me show you how I edit the homepage with the explanation of my every action, so that you will be able to repeat them on your website. Let's assume that my blog is gonna be about coffee makers and I want to place my affiliate links from Amazon Associates on it. The very first thing we are going to change is the design of the header. If you click on the appropriate button, the header design panel appears, where you can select one of the ready-made design presets. In case none of the options suits you, or you want to change specific design features of the header, for example add borders, corners or shadow to it, you can do that by pressing the Customize Design button. As for me, I'm just gonna go with the white header. Besides, on the settings panel you can add some scroll effect to your header, for example make it sticky. Let's go ahead and move on to customizing the navigation menu. First of all, we are going to change its design. As you can see, there are a lot of presets as well, but I want to change its font and text size manually, so I'm gonna click on Customize Design. Let's go over to the text tab, and here we can change the navigation menu text appearance. Once we've done with that, let's try to add a new menu item. All of the actions related to managing the menu can be performed by pressing the appropriate button. First of all, you can rearrange items by simply dragging them up or down, and in case you want to group certain items under the same title, just drag one item to another. Then, by clicking the three dots icon next to any item, you can rename it, hide it from the navigation menu, as well as change its SEO meta tags and some other small settings. To add a new item, press the appropriate button. It can be a link to any page of the website, an external link, an anchor, which is essentially a link that leads to any element placed on the same page, and you can also add a submenu if you need to group certain items under the same title. I'd like to add to the menu links to my blog post categories, but since I haven't shown you how to add new posts and categories yet, we will get into that later. For now, I'll just quickly rename the existing links and remove unnecessary ones. Okay, let's continue and set up the social bar. Frankly speaking, I don't really feel the necessity to indicate links to the social profiles on my website, so I'm just gonna show you how it's done and then delete this element. First of all, on the layout panel, we can adjust the size of social buttons and spacing between them. Then, to set the social links, press the appropriate button, and on the appeared panel you can change the arrangement of social links, replace their icons, change their titles, and of course replace the default links with your own ones. Okay, like I said, I don't really need this element, so I'm gonna delete it. It can be done either by choosing the appropriate item from the drop-down menu after right-clicking on an element, or simply by pressing the delete button on your keyboard. As you can see, the header looks a bit empty now, and I think it's a great opportunity to add a logo to it. But first of all, let's make some room and move the menu a bit right. Then we need to decide what we're gonna use as a logo, text, image or a button, which is essentially text but with an active link. Whatever you choose, you want to click on plus and go over to the appropriate tab. In my case, I'm gonna use an image that I've prepared in advance, so I'm just gonna upload it from my computer. After adjusting the size and placement of the image, we're gonna make it an active link, so that visitors who click on it will be returned to the homepage. For that purpose, we have to press the link button and select where we want this link to lead. In our case, it's gonna be a page. As you can see, the homepage is already selected here, so we're just going to click Done. Alright, since we're done with the header, let's move ahead and customize the welcome message. I'd like to start by changing its background to something more suitable. So I'm gonna click Change Strip Background, then Image, and on the Media from Wix tab, I'm gonna select an image among free ones that are provided by Wix. For example, let's say it's going to be a photo of coffee beans, since this is a blog about coffee. Looks great, but I'm sure it's going to look much greater if we add a shadow overlay. So we're gonna get back to the Stripe background panel and click on Settings. Here we can change such attributes as image opacity and color behind the image. Let's say we're gonna set the image opacity to 35%, and also we're gonna change the color to black. Okay, I also think it's gonna be great if we add a subscription form to the welcome message, so that visitors would be able to subscribe for our newsletter right from the homepage. Building an email list is extremely important for every affiliate marketer, so this is one of the things that definitely should be done. To add a subscription form, we're gonna click on plus, go over to the Contact and Forms tab and select the appropriate item. There are some nice looking ready-made forms, and let's say I'm gonna go with this one. Once we've added the form, we're gonna set it up. To do so, click on it and press the appropriate button. On the Form Settings panel, you can manage your subscribers, choose the way you like to get notified about new subscribers, customize the submit message, set up payment acceptance, and much more. The form setting process is pretty intuitive, so we are not gonna dwell on it in detail, because I'm sure you will not face any problems here. If you want to add more fields to the form, click the plus button and tick the box next to the field you'd like to add. As for me, I actually need only one and the most important field, which is email, because the fewer fields a potential subscriber has to fill, the bigger the chance they will do that. Since the form consists of single elements like a regular stripe, we can just select them and press the delete button. Let me quickly tweak the final look of the subscription form to better fit the site design. Also, I'd like to change the text of the welcome message to encourage visitors subscribing to my newsletter. Let's say it's going to be something like this. Besides, I think it would be great to replace this arrow with the text to make the button more attractive. For that purpose, I'm gonna click on the button, then go to its settings, and here I can change the text within it. Also, on the same panel, we can select what happens after a visitor submits the form. I'm pretty okay with the default settings and not gonna change anything here, so let's move on. Alright, once we've done setting up the form, let's adjust its size, move the text and slightly reduce the stripe height. After the welcome message, there is a stripe with the post categories. Essentially, these are just images with buttons on them, so we are simply gonna change the images and edit the text. Let me quickly show you how I do that with the very first category. First of all, I'd like to change the text of the button. Let's say it's gonna be a category dedicated to coffee beans. Then I'm gonna change the link this button leads to. Now let's replace the image of this category. To do that, we are gonna click on the appropriate button and try to find some picture suitable for our case. For example, I'm gonna go with this one. I would also like to make the image a little darker, so I'm gonna click on the filters and apply the appropriate one. And the final touch is to change the color of the button. So I'm gonna click on it, go over to the design settings and select one of the presets. Okay, so we are done customizing the first category. I obviously don't want to go through the same steps with every single category, and also I'd like to have 6 categories instead of 3. So what I'm gonna do is to duplicate the first category and delete the rest ones. First of all, I'm gonna select each of these elements while holding the Ctrl button and delete them at once. Then I'll select the button and image of the first category and duplicate them 5 times. I don't want to waste your time showing how I change every single image and button text, so let me fast forward this part of the video. Alright, so now we have a beautiful set of category links on the homepage, but I also think that it's gonna be great to add a heading to this stripe. So I'm gonna click on plus, go over to the text tab and drag a heading to the area above the categories. Let me quickly adjust its size and the height of the stripe. Also, if you realize that you often have to move a set of elements on the page, you can group them to make it a lot easier. After the categories goes the stripe with the featured section. As you can see, these are just text and image elements, so you can quickly customize them the way you want. As for me, I don't need this stripe at all, so I'm gonna remove it. Then goes probably the most important stripe for any blog homepage, which contains the post list. I don't really like the way it looks, so let's delete it and see what other post list options are available to us. For example, I'm gonna go with this one. Let me quickly copy and paste the heading and we will go over to setting up the post list. We are gonna skip the main tab because it just contains shortcuts for quick access to other tabs and start from the settings tab. So, first of all, we can select the specific category from which we want to display posts. As you can see, we can choose only among the default categories for now, but don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to add and manage posts and categories a bit later on this video. The next interesting settings here is the number of posts to show. For example, let's say I'd like to show 6 posts. On the next step, we can tick the boxes next to the info we'd like to display on the feed. For example, it might be the author name, publishing date, views or likes counter, and so on. As for me, I'm gonna leave it as is. Next, on the Layout tab, we can change the layout of the post list, image ratio, post width, spacing between them, and much more. The same goes for the Design tab. There are a lot of customization options, so you have a room for creativity. I'm not gonna change anything here, because first of all, I'm pretty okay with the way the post list looks now, and secondly, because it's a pretty intuitive process, and I don't really want to waste your time showing obvious things. So let's go ahead and we are moving on to customizing the footer. As you can see, we've currently got 3 stripes here, the first one with social media links, the second one with Instagram feed, and the last one with some info about the blog author as well as a subscription form. I don't really need the first 2, so I'm gonna delete them. Now I'm gonna adjust the footer height, but before that I need to move all of these elements to its top edge. I'd also like to change the background color of the footer. So I'm gonna click on the appropriate button and choose a different color. For example, this one suits me well. Regarding elements within the footer, as you can see, these are just text, image and the subscription form, and since we already know how to deal with them, let me just quickly edit them without describing every step. Okay, so we're done with customizing the desktop version of the homepage. But we mustn't forget to check what the mobile version looks like. So we're gonna click on the appropriate button and switch to it. As you can see, there is a little mess here, but don't worry, it's totally okay and we're gonna deal with that pretty quickly. First of all, let's adjust the size and placement of the logo and menu. By the way, as you can see, the navigation menu looks a bit different on the mobile version of the website, so you need to edit its design separately. Then we're gonna customize the display of the welcome message. Let's just move the text elements to the top and increase the width of the subscription form. The next goes the heading. First of all, I'm gonna click on Settings and change the text alignment to the center. Then I'm gonna reduce the size of the text and adjust the width of the element. Okay, now I wanna increase the size of the category images to match the size of the post images, because right now they are a bit smaller. Thankfully, we did group all of these elements, and now we can change the size of every element inside this group simultaneously. Also, as you remember, on the desktop version we've got the buttons over the images. However, on the mobile version they are placed under the images. So I'm gonna tackle this little issue just by dragging them to their places. Now everything looks just perfect, except the footer, so I'm gonna slightly adjust its top and bottom edges. So, as you can see, there is nothing complicated, and I recommend that you check the mobile version at least after major template edits. Since now both versions of the website look perfect, we're ready to go ahead and take a look at the Wix blog features. For that purpose, we're gonna go over to the blog dashboard, and the fastest way to get there from the editor is to click on the pen icon and then click on Manage Posts. So here is the blog dashboard. Here we can create new posts and categories, manage them, change the blog settings and so on. Let's start by editing the post. After clicking on the appropriate button, we will be taken to the blog post editor. As you can see, it's pretty intuitive. You can enter and edit text in exactly the same way as in any other text editor, so I'm not gonna dwell on that process in detail. Instead, let's take a look at the left panel. By clicking on the plus icon, you can add to your article such elements as an image, gallery, video, button, HTML code and so on. Then, on the Settings tab, you can choose the cover image for the post, change the date of the publication, as well as select its author. Also, if we go over to the Advanced tab, we can add a thrilling description to attract readers, as well as indicate the related posts that are going to be displayed at the end of the current post. And in case you don't want people to be able to comment on your post, just turn off this switch. Then we're gonna go over to the SEO tab. Here we can edit the URL of this post, which is essentially its address on the website, as well as edit its SEO meta tags, namely title and description. As I said, in this tutorial I'm not gonna dive deep into article search engines optimization, because it's a really huge topic, but in general, the best strategy to reach results in SEO is to put the main keyword for which you want your article to rank in search engines into the title, text and heading. For example, let's say it's gonna be an article about how to choose the best coffee maker. So I'm gonna enter the title that's gonna be including the main keyword phrase, which is the best coffee maker in this specific case, and the same goes for the description. Keep in mind that SEO meta tags of the article should not only contain keywords, but what's even more important, they should encourage people to click on it, as this is one of the strongest signals for Google to start ranking the article higher. Besides, we're gonna talk about general SEO settings further in this video. As for now, let's go over to the Social Share tab. Here you can edit what your post will look like when someone shares it on social media, for example on Facebook and Pinterest, and also here is even a separate set of settings for Twitter. Then on the Advanced tab you can edit the schema markup of the article. Blog posting schema markup is necessary to help Google display it as a rich result, so it's really nice that Wix has this feature by default and you don't have to set anything manually. Let's go ahead and we're getting over to the Category tab. Actually, there is nothing interesting here, we can just select one or a few categories to which we want to attach the post. The same goes for tags. They are intended to make it easier to navigate the site, but honestly speaking, I never use them, because from my point of view it's pretty enough to just have categories. And we are moving on to the next step, which is monetization. Here you can create subscription plans for your posts, so that you will be able to offer your readers access to your exclusive content. And I can't help but mention that this is truly amazing that Wix provides such a feature by default, because if you were using any other website builder or CMS, you would either have to install or buy additional plugins, or in some cases you wouldn't have such a feature at all. Let's try to create a plan. After we enter the name of the plan and pick the posts to which it guarantees access to, we can choose how we want to charge for this plan. As you can see, it might be a single or recurrent payment, and also down here we can set a limit of purchasing per one person and allow or restrict the plan cancellation. So it's a great and convenient tool to get additional income. Okay, since it's clear, we're ready to move on to the last tab on the left panel, which is Translate. Actually, this is more like a promo tab, which says that if you want to make your website multilingual, you can install the appropriate Wix app. This app allows you to add more languages to your site to translate posts for readers around the world, which is extremely beneficial if you speak more than one language. I'm gonna show you where to find apps and how to install them a bit later in this video. As for now, let's return to the blog dashboard and go over to the most thrilling part, which is adding affiliate links. Let's assume we are gonna create a typical article that compares the top 5 coffee makers. Usually, these articles begin with an introduction, followed by short overviews of each model with affiliate links. So, first of all, I'm gonna enter the name of the article and write a catchy introduction to encourage visitors to read the article till the end. I've prepared the introduction in advance, so you don't waste your time watching how I'm trying to come up with it, so I'm gonna just paste it. Okay, then goes the heading that contains the name of the best rated coffee maker. I don't want any copyright issues or something with this video, so I'm gonna just name it the #1 coffee maker. And finally, we've got to the point where we're gonna add an affiliate link. As I said at the very beginning, in this tutorial I'm not gonna show you how to sign up for Amazon Associates and where to get your affiliate links, because first of all I have a separate tutorial on this topic, and secondly, the main goal of this specific video is to show you how to build a beautiful affiliate marketing website using the Wix platform. So I'm gonna just put the HTML code of my affiliate link into the article by clicking on the appropriate item. It's the image link, so if anyone clicks on it, they will be taken to the product page. The image is quite small due to the responsiveness of this blog, and it's a pretty common case when it comes to the affiliate links from Amazon, but thankfully I know what to change inside its code to make it bigger. So I'm gonna click on the image and find this specific part of the code. These numbers are responsible for the size of the image, so I'm just gonna change it for, let's say, 400. I'd also like to align the image to the center, and for that purpose I'm gonna enclose the code inside the center tag. Okay, now it looks perfect, and we're ready to move on and enter the text of the review. As usual, I've prepared it in advance, so I'm gonna just paste it. Also, it's quite a common practice to add a button after the text of the review to encourage visitors to go over the product's page, so why don't we do the same? So we're gonna click on Add and choose the button element. First of all, let's slightly increase its width, and then we're gonna go over to the settings of the button. I'm gonna change the button text to check the latest price and paste my affiliate link into the appropriate field. Also, if you want to change the appearance of the button, you can do that on the Design tab. For example, you can select another background or text color and add a border. And actually that's it. The first review is ready and the rest ones are done in a similar way, so I'm just gonna copy the first review and paste it 4 times to make this article look complete. Okay, now let's publish the article and get back to the dashboard. Another thing I'd like to mention that if you already have a blog on WordPress and decided to try a new platform, you can simply import posts from WordPress to Wix just in a few clicks, by clicking on the appropriate item under the More Actions menu. Okay, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Wix blog features. So let's get back to editing the site. Earlier in this video I promised to show where you can find Wix apps, how to install them and why you should definitely try that. So we're gonna click on the Add Apps button on the left panel, and this is gonna bring us to the Wix app market. There are hundreds of popular web apps, powerful services and amazing features to enhance your affiliate marketing website and expand its functionality. Most of them are free to use and can be added to your site in just a few clicks. Since we were talking about the Wix multilingual app, let's try to find and install it. As you can see, the apps are either third-party made or created by Wix, so you can find pretty much everything you want. To install the app, just go over to its page and click on the Add to Site. Then we have to indicate the main language of our website, as well as the other ones we want to add. And in the end of setting process, we have to choose how we want the content to be translated, manually or by using Google Translate. So, as you can see, Wix allows us to create multilingual websites just in a few clicks, without wasting time on findings of plugins and trying to figure out how to install and set them up, as in case with some other website builders and CMS. And like I said, there are tons of useful apps for any purpose, so I do recommend you to check the Wix app market even if you're not going to create multilingual content. Alright, so now we know how to edit the appearance of the website, how to add and manage posts, as well as how to additionally expand the functionality of your affiliate marketing website. So I think it's safe to say that we are ready to move on to the final part and publish it. You can do that by pressing the appropriate button. As you can see, by default the website is placed on a free Wix subdomain, which means we already can start sharing the link to it with anyone. However, it's kind of impossible to rank high in the search engine's result without a custom domain. And since search engines are the main source of traffic for pretty much every affiliate marketing website, we definitely have to purchase it. To connect a domain, you want to follow the appropriate link under the settings, and after that you will have two ways: purchase a new domain name directly from Wix or connect a custom domain name you already have. The good news is, after upgrading to a premium plan, you will get a custom domain for free for 1 year, so you don't have to spend any additional money. Once we've published the website and connected the custom domain, we are gonna go ahead and move to an extremely important topic for every affiliate marketing website, which is search engine optimization, or as it's also called SEO. SEO is vital if you want to drive free, recurable and consistent traffic from the search engines to your website. As I said earlier in this video, this is rather extensive and deep topic that deserves a separate hour or even 2-hour tutorial. But thankfully, especially for regular people who don't want to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to optimize their website, Wix came up with the Wix SEO wizard. To start using it, we're gonna follow the Get Found on Google link under the settings on the top panel. Essentially, it's a step-by-step plan designed to help optimize your website for the search engines even if you're a complete beginner in that field. The Wix SEO wizard covers the best and most common SEO practices, as well as shows you how to boost your online presence by outlining weak points on your website and providing helpful tips for improvement. After you answer 3 simple questions, the wizard analyzes your website and automatically issues a personalized SEO plan with simple steps by following which you can achieve acceptable results in a short period of time. So this is an extremely useful tool for those who have never heard of SEO before, but still want to get free traffic from search engines and make money online. Once we figure it out with SEO, there is one more thing we need to take care of, and that's a favicon. It's a small icon that you can see on your browser tab. It's crucial to have it because it helps to personalize your site and highlight it among others. By default, all websites built on Wix have a standard Wix favicon, but you can customize it after upgrading to a premium plan and connecting your site to a custom domain, which we've already done. To change a favicon, open the Settings tab on the site's dashboard and choose the appropriate item. If you don't have a favicon yet, I do recommend you to use one of the free favicon generators that can be found around the internet. And actually, that's pretty much everything you need to know in order to build and launch a professionally looking affiliate marketing website using Wix. In conclusion, I'd like to say that Wix is one of the most user-friendly and flexible platforms for building websites, so I recommend you give it a try whether you're starting your journey in affiliate marketing or want to migrate from other platform you're currently using. That's it for today, guys. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please don't forget to hit the like button, because it helps my channel to grow. Also, I'd like to remind you that if after watching this video you've got inspired to create your own affiliate marketing website using Wix Website Builder, you can get started by following the appropriate link in the description down below. And as usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I'm always ready to help. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye!